The land use charge is a property tax law of Lagos State. Since 2001, the law has not been amended until this present administration decided to amend the law 15 years after. This has been generating reaction across board. Today on the show, we're looking at the amended Land Use Charge Law 2018. Thank you for joining us. Lagos is an organized and lawful state. Most policies in the state are built on laws. Perhaps this is the bedrock of the state's ability to stand out in every sector. To set more perspective on policies in the state, Governor Akinwumi Ambode signed 7 important bills into law on February the 8th, 2018. One of the new laws is the Land Use Charge Law 2018. This repeals and replaces the Land Use Charge Law 2001. Some of the changes introduced in the new law include determination of land use charge to be based on market or commercial value, exemption of private cemeteries from land use charge, and exclusion for property owned by religious bodies, now limited to only those used as a place of worship or religious education.
Our House of Assembly is in complete sync with the executive, and they're working in tandem. It also shows that Lagos State is working. These laws are going to benefit the good people of Lagos State.
On February the 19th, Governor Ambode paid his land use charge with an announcement that the state government would no longer accept cash payment in revenue collection effective from March the 1st, 2018. He said the measure was aimed at improving on service delivery to residents of the state, as well as block all revenue leakages.
Effective from 1st March 2018, no payments or taxes will be made by cash henceforth across the state. Taxpayers should be able to pay all legitimate bills through all payment channels at their own time and convenience. The transaction process is now going to be every day, anytime, and no weekends. We should be able to pay our taxes from any bank, any branch, using WebPay, PayPoint, and USSD, encouraging mobile money without any contact with government officials. Do not pay into wrong hands anymore. In partnership with InterSwitch Limited, all the multi-layer platforms are to be deployed and used by all government ministries, agencies, parastatals, associated companies, and units. Henceforth, I appeal to all taxable adults to be patriotic in this crusade. That flyover or health center is built from your taxes and contributions.
The revised land use charge law generated a lot of issues and cries, and Governor Ambode spoke about it extensively at an event on March 6th, where he hosted corporate assembly tagged Lagos Means Business. Ambode said the review of the law was not a deliberate attempt by the government to overburden property owners, but a decision taken in the overriding interest of the future of Lagos.
To do that airport road from Oshodi and 10 lanes with a U-turn bridge and 4 pedestrian road, it's when we finish by December or January, you will love it. But you know it's coming from your taxes. It's only because we are bold that we want to do it. Anybody that doesn't have guts will not do it. Do we like the way our Papa Axis is? The answer is no. Do you know it will come at a cost? Should I go and do it? Everybody will say yes. Have you paid your taxes? But you know what? We are 24 million. Taxable adults in Lagos is 8 million. The number of people that actually submitted tax returns in 2017 is 2 million. And then the number of people that actually pay taxes, 700,000. So this land use charge, what is it? Eh? You still want to talk about it? With everything I've said? Hey. So, in order for us not to invoke the anger of the poor, we tax those who are rich so that we can protect them from their anger. That's what land use charge is saying, property taxes. That's what it's saying. So it's like a sacrifice. So this tax, the law was made in 2002. It provides there that every 5 years, you should review it and also find a way to increase it. 2017, 15 years after, it's never been reviewed. So let's play back in time. So those who are actually having commercial properties, the rental income they were getting in 2002, as against the rental income they are getting in 2017, 15 years after, has remained the same. Is that correct? Eh? Wait. The issue is this. The level of infrastructure that existed in 2002 as against what has happened in the last 15 years, are they the same? Did it not come at a cost? So why is the market value of the property that you built? You built it with 1 million. 15 years after, you are selling at 20 million. How did you make profit? Why do you think somebody who is a buyer will pay 20 million for it? It's not the facilities around your property. You have to pay a price. That's how it works everywhere. So somebody comes and says that we have increased by 400%. If 400% of what? You were paying 10,000 naira before. We say you should pay 50,000 naira. You are saying, you are calculating and turning statistics upside down by saying it's 400%. Is this still not still small? But do you know the truth? Pensioners, you don't need to pay. Owner occupier is just point something percent. Churches, mosques, NGOs, government institutions, it's free. So who is going to take care of the ones that are free? If you are owner occupier, you don't need to pay. So it's the commercial part that people are shouting. So how many properties are even in Lagos anyway? Maybe less than 1 million. So owner occupier, please, are there commercial properties in Badagry, Ekpe, and Ikorodu and all that? What's that? They will not even pay. What kind of economy is going on in Badagry that you go and charge them? If they don't pay, we cannot force them. So the whole thing is just concentrated in the hands of those who have commercial properties. That is the whole story. So don't let you be misled. Is it called what? New media, Abby? Social media. So, but the truth is this. That is the real story. Pensioners, owner-occupier, they don't really pay anything and all that. So why have we increased? We should have been doing it every 5 years. But I'm looking at it. If I must sustain, according to what Mr. Napoleon, referred to, if I want to sustain the level of my vision, I have to throw something back to people. I don't need to come and meet you if I continue to borrow money. But you are borrowing to punish you ultimately, which is not what we want. Because it's even the taxes you will pay in some years' time that we use to pay the interest and the principal. Shouldn't somebody be able to tell you the bitter truth? And then let's say, let's sacrifice together. That's what we have done here.
He said the law enacted in 2001 provides for an upgrade review every 5 years, but that the state government had not carried out any review of the law until 2017, adding that the recent review was in line with the present economic realities. After clarifying with facts of the revised land use charge law, Governor Ambode said the government is ready to dialogue to resolve the issues going forward.
The number of people that are really affected in all these commercial transactions, they are like 300,000 against 24 million. Because almost every other thing in the land use charge is technically free. And then, they have the resources to attack us. So they will just, scaremongering and blackmail and everything. But we are ready for dialogue. That's the bottom line.
On March the 7th, the Lagos State government clarified the figures circulating in the media on the rate for the newly reviewed land use charge law of 2018. Speaking at a news briefing at Alausa, Commissioner for Finance, Akinyemi Ashade, specifically dismissed the humongous figures being bandied about on the social media, saying many of the calculations were based on arrears of many years of non-payment.
1,200 naira 16 years ago. Even if you do an annual 10% inflation rate and you compound it up for 16 years, you will not get 5,000 naira. And what you can buy with 1,200 naira 16 years ago is not this. You can't even buy something of that value presently. So if you were throwing out statistics of 400%, what we also should put in perspective is what was the time value of money 16 years ago. And the fact that has not been reviewed, and whose fault is that? The truth of the matter is that responsibility for review is that of God. We accept that responsibility and we have done it. Our responsibility is also to explain it to you, to let you be on the same page and understand that we have done a whole lot of things. If you go to Abulegba, you see what we've done there. If you go to Aja, you see what you've done there. If you go to Badagry, you see what's happening. In Ekwe, the governor is someone that is committed to delivering value for every kobo earned on taxes. And that is the promise that he has kept faith with.
Ashade also said the state government has extended the period for taxpayers to enjoy the 15% discount in the reviewed land use charge law to April 14.
We've just extended the 15 days for you to enjoy discount to April 14. What we are saying is that if you want to pay once, that 15% after you get your bill, just deduct 15%, and once you pay once, you pay the balance. And that is still available up till April 14. However, if you want to come to us to agree a payment plan, you are free. You can agree a payment plan within the year. What you just lose is that you won't have the benefit of early payment discount of 15%.
Also speaking, Commissioner for Information Kehinde Bamibeton said there were so many misconceptions and misinformation about the new law, adding that the new law was a progressive enactment duly made by the Lagos State House of Assembly and handed over to the executive for implementation in the overall interest of the people.
A lot of reliefs have been built into it, and because many people are confusing arrears. When you hear those figures, ask, is it for 1 year or for several years of non-payment? The humongous figures that have been bandied around particularly in the social media, relates to the arrears of many years of non-payments, which are computed together. By law, many of those affected ought to have been facing the law, the court of law by now. But in government's own way of doing things, we have decided to notify you. And that is why, number 3, self-assessment has become a key factor. We have provided a governance structure that enables you to dialogue and make your claim. If you assess based on the principles and come to a different figure, you can actually talk to us and we will simply explain to you why you have the kind of figure that you have. So most owner-occupiers who should be the one complaining most, they really do not have much increase other than the arrears.
Responding to fears of tenants that the new law might force landlords to increase rent, Ashade said aside the fact that the Lagos State Tenancy Law 2011 was still in force, the incidence of payments for land use charge under the new law is on the landlord and not the tenants.
If you rented out the house to tenants and you don't live in that property, and your house is still worth that 20 million, you will pay 0.76% of 60% of 20 million. And 0.76% of that 12 million discounted value is 91,200 naira. So if you are a landlord living with your tenants in the same building that I've just described, and this building is a building worth 20 million, you will pay 0.256% of 60% of 20 million. And that is 0.256% multiplied by 12 million, and that is 30,720 naira per annum. That is the breakdown.
Quite clearly, we all know and we agree that if a rate has been fixed since 2001, it's due for review at this time. So we would, with that open mind, we'll go there, we'll look at those figures that he had presented, and try and verify them and discuss with government. Akim Miyambode is a very credible gentleman that I believe will keep to his word, and we'll find a way around it.
Well, Lagos State, they have infrastructure deficit, so they want to cover it. In principle, that is okay. The second thing is Lagos State wants to leverage on global best practices, which in principle is also okay.
There's nothing wrong if the government wants to add a little something to the land use charge, but they should also have a human face. They should do it with a human face, because in the long run, it's going to backfire on the tenants, because the landlords will end up increasing their property, money for their properties, and it will still backfire to the general populace. So they should just do it in a way, in such a way that it will not tell on the people at the end of the day. But increasing it, there's nothing all that wrong, but they should do it in a moderate manner.
On Monday, March the 12th, Governor Ambode re-emphasized the state's desire to dialogue on the land use charge that is generating reactions across the state. Ambode said he has been meeting with different stakeholders on the land use charge increase and that he is open to dialogue on the issue.
You would have observed we held a session with the business community last week on Lagos means business. And one of the topical issues that was raised there was about the land use charge. And during that session, I did say that the state government was open to dialogue. And ever since that Tuesday, we've been consulting people, and then also we've been trying to explain the basis of this land use charge law. I want Lagosians to understand one particular issue. We have over 300 tax items, of which nothing has been touched apart from just this land use charge or maybe one other one. But again, we're a very responsive government. We're very sensitive. At the end of the day, governance is about people. It's about what they want. Yes, people may like that infrastructural development is on the progressive chart in Lagos, but also it comes with a price. But notwithstanding, in the middle of all that, a responsive government will listen to the yearnings
of our people. So obviously, when I say I want dialogue, I really mean it. And I'm ready to respond to that. In the last 1 week, we've been meeting different groups, and we've been talking, and we've been making people to understand also. And I think by the end of this week, we should be able to come out with something positive that actually ameliorates the issues being raised by concerned stakeholders. At the end of the day, it's all for the development of Lagos. What this government is interested in is to create a trajectory and a framework of permanent prosperity for Lagos. It's not about today, it's about the future. And if there's going to be permanent prosperity in Lagos, some things have to be done. But I can tell you, based on the dialogue and the things that we are receiving, obviously we will respond positively to those yearnings.
It's a work that brings together all the three arms of government: executive, legislature, and the judiciary. Traditional rulers and students are not left out. Governor Ambode and his wife, Bolanle, are joining them to raise voices against domestic and sexual violence in the state. Ambode said he is on the street to attack the culture which relegates women to the background and forces them to suffer in silence.
In Lagos, we are waging a war against this culture, and we will do everything within our power to transform ours to a culture of equality, respect, and dignity for all. It is a journey of radical transformation, and our government is wholly committed to seeing it through. We have walked the talk as regards fighting sexual and gender-based violence. The Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team executed interventions and initiatives which include easy access to reporting incidents, speedy rescue and access to justice, medical and psychosocial support for survivors, sensitization and policy advocacy, and the establishment of the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Trust Fund.
After commending the Lagos State Judiciary and the Lagos State House of Assembly for the enactment of the Protection Against Domestic Violence Law 2007, the Child's Right Law of Lagos State 2015, and the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015, Ambode called for stiffer punishment for rape.
Rape should not be met with light sentencing. The minimum sentence of 25 years is highly recommended. We need new laws which will respond adequately to the nature and occurrences of this era. Domestic violence is a crime and should be treated as such. The Protection Against Domestic Violence Law 2007 should therefore be amended accordingly.
In domestic and sexual violence cases, Nigeria police force are usually the first port of call. Commissioner of Police told us how they've been professional about it.
Even before now, 13 divisions have been earmarked specifically where we have gender desks, including the State Command headquarters that handle all cases of sexual and domestic violence, because I pay a very high premium on this category of cases for the simple reason that I believe that the women and children are the most vulnerable in our society, and we must do everything possible to protect them.
In 2017, more than 200 sexual violence cases were reported. 68 cases have been reported so far this year, out of which 63 are currently in court for prosecution.
We will also put in place mechanisms to strengthen existing institutions and ensure deterrence of further perpetration of this act. The call for gender parity, gender equality, must move from being a slogan to actualization. As the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly, I will continue to ensure that we enact relevant laws that drive equality and protect vulnerable women and girls in our state.
We have decided to pay attention to these vulnerable ones, whether they are children, whether they are women, whether they are men, when it comes to sexual offenses and domestic violence. And it's also an awareness to let them know that They can seek for justice. They don't need to hide anymore. And that people really understand what is happening in society. We need to curb it. We need to make our society safe for everybody.
This governor cares about his people. He is committed to fighting this scourge. He is committed to protecting the rights of women, children, and the less privileged. That is what this work is. It's sending a very strong message to the world that I'm committed to the people.
No rape! Say no to domestic violence! Say no to domestic violence!
This symbolic work against domestic and sexual violence in Lagos is also to remind victims of the short code 6820 to report their cases.
Say no to domestic violence!
That's it on the show today. Many thanks for being a part of it, and we'll continue to keep you abreast on the land use charge story. Many thanks for watching. I'm Adido Jasalam Adini. Bye-bye.